You ever get that sense of pride of when you've done something that you've created or achieved something that's really great? The makers do that when they create something like say my wife who knitted these socks. She knits a pair every month, so she gets that sense of, wow, I've built something, I have achieved this. Haven't we all had that feeling before that, hey, we've done something? I know that I've had that experience myself when a few years ago we had an operational issue with some of the websites that I was supporting because, well, I've been a nerd. And I wound up having to fix this problem, sit down just pounding away at the computer for hours and hours and hours while the chief information officer of every federal agency, Department of Defense, USDA, Interior, all 24 of them were waiting on me to finish that. Well, fortunately, I was able to complete that task. I got the thank you. I got a very nice letter, personalized, from the Secretary of Agriculture saying thank you for taking care of all that. Wonderful sense of achievement. But that just doesn't scale. I'm only one person. I only have 24 hours in a day. How can I be more effective if that's all I have? I started thinking about what I wanted to do with my career beyond being just that one individual. And I wanted to start getting into leadership and leading teams and being able to be more effective, be broader in what I could accomplish. I actually wound up joining Toastmasters because that's where leaders are made. I would say that my leadership style, as I've discovered, that is very personalized. I am able to work very closely with people to establish that one-to-one relationship where I'm able to encourage people to get them to do more than they thought that they were able to do. I'd like to say that I think I'm adequate at that. Certainly, I've been a club president 3 different times. And each time the club has wound up being President's Distinguished, which is the highest achievement for a club in Toastmasters. And only somewhere between 25 and 40% of clubs do that on an annual basis. I've also had great opportunities working with some of my colleagues at the Department of Agriculture, leading teams, accomplishing great things, and what has been most encouraging to me is that people will say, Alex, I want opportunities to work with you again. Not that, oh, it'd be nice if we were working together, but actually seeking out those opportunities. I have 2 people doing that with me right now. That is very warms me up. It makes me feel good. And that I'm actually able to do something with a group of, say, 10 to 20 people. But that doesn't scale. My current organization has over 200 people in it. How can I, as one person, establish those personal relationships where I am one-on-one? I'm still only one person 24 hours a day, and even though I can establish those relationships and I can say, we're going to go do great things, that only gets me up to, well, maybe 50 people. So that's why I chose visionary communication as the pathway that I want to work on here within Peak Performance. I know that there are tremendous leaders here within Peak. I want to work with them to learn from all of you how I can be more effective at scaling up what I do and what I'm able to accomplish. As I look out here in the audience and I see so many people who are original members of Peak Performance and those who are new members, I get a sense that perhaps that is possible because you folks are here spending your Saturday morning with me because we had this vision of creating an advanced club here in northern Colorado. And you have bought into that vision, even though that was several years ago. Coming forward to today, we have been able to create that vision and to have more people actually buy into it than I was able to ever convince to found this club. And that's what I'm looking for, and I thank you all for the assistance you're going to give me in this journey. Madam Toastmaster.
Well, actually, where it came from. I think I remember. I don't have a podium. Well, Alex, it's a pleasure hearing your speech. And of course, we're together in the other club. So even more interesting learning more about you. I think you did great things. Use of stage. And then you had to develop 3 parts for your speaking. And you used the right, and then the left, and then the middle. So that was really good use of your space. Your vocal variety was good in each stage. I liked very much the reasoning behind why you wanted to be a visionary communicator, and the "it doesn't scale" got repeated, and that was very clear to me that the reason why you want to do this is so you can scale your help, your ability to impact your organization or Toastmasters. Things I think you could improve is when you came to the end on the closing, where you're telling us why you want to do this. I think maybe a little bit of pause there to create more suspense and use stronger words than perhaps is possible. I think that diluted your message, and perhaps just saying I believe it's possible instead of perhaps. So that is what I think could be done better. But again, great speech as always, and I love the fact that you like to work with others and that people like to work with you, because I'm on that bandwagon too. You did my first evaluation. It wasn't even my evaluation. You just did a general evaluation for my speech as a member. And I remember after that, I was like, I want him to be my evaluator. And then I asked you next time I came to the meeting. So thanks for that. Let's open for round robin. Round robin. Go ahead. Anybody wants to speak?
Yeah, Joe?
Go ahead.
I like your use of some examples, the knitted socks, for example, and then you built up a little bit of suspense and excitement about your experience with the websites. And I like the gestures and the repeated hours and hours and hours. It just, you built that up.
This is Terry. I thought you had really excellent eye contact. It was like very personal. I want to work with you to help me scale. And like you said, you have a personal contact, and I felt that even in your speech. So well done.
Anybody else?
This is Reed.
Go ahead.
There's a couple of things that I would recommend that you consider as you build upon this concept. One, I wanted to have you create more of a connection with the characters that you were making reference to. You started talking about these high-level people in the government, and if you have a discussion with them, or if you have those contacts, give us a dialogue. Well, Jim, I can't have that paper by this time, or something like that. Help create the story images a little bit stronger by using a dialogue of that interaction. And as you connect with us, I would suggest maybe use more you statements towards us. Ask us those questions. And if you've ever been in that situation where you've got a deadline, help us feel the tension or make the connection, the relationship we have as well.
Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Joe.
Thank you.
So, one of the things I noticed is your voice is very conversational, very pleasant, and I think that ties in with that connection with people, with individuals. In a group like this, especially when you want to inspire or kind of build a little more vocal variety, a little more firmness, intent, energy in your voice, I think would help add to what you're trying to say. But I can see it was very fun, very pleasant to listen to and hear as a speech. You're very engaged in that way, but more at a personal level than a professional level.
Okay.
I would build on that too, say, show some of the stress you felt. Yeah, I was stressed out. Doesn't match your message. Help us understand the pressure you were feeling to get that report done. Speed up your speech a little bit more, show that anxiety, and take that level of up a little bit more. Man, it was just tense.
I was just rebuilding the database server is all.
Oh. It's because he's a cool kind of guy, you know? He keeps his cool under pressure.
Me up at night.
Yeah. Well, and in saying that, I also think when you said warm, it makes you feel warm. Like, I would like to know more about that. Like, you know, we all like to be loved and wanted and be, you know, want to be worked with. So maybe a little description in there. It makes me feel warm. How, you know, and then, because, I mean, I would like to know that.
I'd like just to ask a question to the audience about that, because I was feeling
Green,
like I wanted
yellow.
to
6 minutes.
give you a word because it seemed like it wasn't coming. Did anybody else feel that?
I felt that. I
Okay.
actually wanted to give him the word satisfying.
Yes, or something,
Yeah.
something to that effect.
Yeah? Anybody else?
I'm Connie,
Go
and
ahead, Connie.
I'm new and objective. I
Go
thought your
for it.
speech was great. I appreciated that you gave credibility to your experience and your knowledge base right out of the gate. What I felt like you missed at the end was really driving that point home that you are a huge resource, and your power, your voice dropped down, and you were almost trying to convince instead of owning it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah. I believe this is possible.
No, because I appreciated the conversational, like the softness, and you were just kind of sharing a story and engaging, and I felt drawn into your story. I
Jane,
felt drawn
7
into it,
minutes.
but
Alright.
I just felt like the power was missing at the end.
Thanks, Connie. We're gonna wrap this up. So, Alex, thanks again, and I look